Hello, everybody. My name is Leslie, and I'm going to be presenting this article on truly funny humor, irony, satire as moral criticism. First, we'll take a look at what philosophy has done with humor so far. First off, we have the superiority theory of humor. This type of humor incorporates an element of ridicule with an enjoyment of one's superiority while pinpointing the weakness of others. Next is a theory we have that is the incongruity theory, which depends on the defeat of expectations. A joke we've all heard of this kind is, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" And while we all know the answer, if someone has never heard of the joke before, they are trying to think of all the logical reasons as to why a chicken would cross the road, only to be met with an expectation-defeating punchline to get to the other side. Another discussion among philosophers considering humor is that of morality. Are all jokes okay to laugh at? Am I allowed to be amused by racist jokes or sexist jokes? Is it the same thing as feeling racist or feeling sexist? Dallas will steer away from morality inquisition, as morality is not the main focus of his article. Instead, Dallas will be focusing on sarcasm, irony, and satire, and what can be inferred from the use of these. Dallas used these terms a bit interchangeably, as one can understand from the dictionary definitions. Harsh or bitter derision or irony, the use of words to convey a meaning that is the opposite of its literal meaning. The use of irony, sarcasm, ridicule, or the like in exposing, denouncing, or deriding vice, folly, etc. Can you distinguish which definition fits to which word? Lucky for us, they fit together as one idea pretty well, and will be used as such throughout the article. Like I previously mentioned, Dada's goals are not rooted in maintaining a standard of morality, but instead to detail that humor reveals ethical insight and aims at the truth. He calls this moral criticism. To distinguish between morality and moral criticism, he gives the example of Susan and her deserved tenure. If Susan deserves being granted tenure, one may feel outrage on this account. Because Susan deserves a tenure, the emotion of outrage is not fitting. However, it is not wrong of them to be allowed to feel the outrage. The fittingness coincides with the morality, and the freedom to feel outrage coincides with something being subjected to moral criticism. Arms and Jacobson believe that funniness does not have a moral shape. They believe that just because amusement happened, it does not mean that one's amusement revealed some moral that they held. In agreement, I, and I'm sure many of you can relate, have laughed at something and not completely known the reason to my amusement. Dallas combats this argument with his reminder of incongruity. Though the morality of the joke may not be the focus, there was still a defeat of expectations, where expectations stem from one's personal perspectives that has occurred. One could possibly feel a new perspective altogether. D'Souza and Moran disagree with Darms and Jacobson as well. They believe the listener must actually share the morally problematic attitudes the joke appears to endorse. The very clear example that is used are jokes about rape. Some may find it okay to laugh about rape jokes because they morally do not find anything wrong with rape and actually believe that some people deserve or even ask to be raped. Others find it incredibly immoral to laugh about because they find rape to be against one's will and something that can either ruin someone's life and their future. Either way, unless the listeners share the same morals you do, it's probably not a good idea to venture into jokes about things like rape. The response from Diams and Jacobson: the appropriateness of a joke will not change the genuine incongruity of a joke. As to say that even if you feel one way about rape, you will still laugh at a joke told in the opposite manner. I and Dadless do not agree with this. Take this classic Chris Rock joke. You know what they say, there's never a reason to hit a woman. There's a reason to hit everybody, just don't do it. Now most people would laugh, unknowingly sharing their experiences with wanting to hit someone you shouldn't by laughing and agreeing. And it's coming from a comedian. Now imagine the same joke from a respected official like former President Bill Clinton. It's just not the same. Not too many people would laugh for the same reason they did when Chris Rock said the joke. Context matters. We'll look at another instance where the moral lens changed the situation. The illustrator of the specific New Yorker cover was trying to convey a message. Fear-mongering is ridiculous, and anyone could put an image of the Obamas looking anti-American, whatever that means, and instill fear. It was a clear use of satire. However, much else was experienced. Some viewers of the image took it literal and affirmed their negative feelings about President Obama with the illustration. Some viewers took exactly what it was trying to accomplish and flipped it around. It may not have helped put fear-mongering to rest like the illustrator would have wanted, but it did reveal a truth about what one can expect with different audiences. The conclusion that Dadless has come to is that though we cannot use humor as a way to distinguish moral and immoral, we can use humor to disclose of something unexpected, and furthermore, a new truth. The superiority theory can point out an unknown ridicule to the person being ridiculed or to people unknowing in the audience, just like the New Yorker cover did for those who did not understand satire. The incongruity theory can disclose some unknown perspective which is required if amusement follows. The same pattern for irony, satire, and sarcasm. Though we cannot change everyone's perspective through a stand-up routine or random joke thrown in among friends, we can use humor to aim to reveal a newfound truth and perspective. I hope this was helpful in understanding the article. Thanks for listening.